Am I the a-hole for having sex with another person after my wife wanted to open up our marriage? Hey guys, so my wife, 30 female, and I, 33 male, have been married for 8 years now. We had a fair amount of ups and downs during our marriage. 5 years ago, I found out that my wife had cheated on me with a man she knew from Tinder. She has told me that after they hooked up 3 times or so, first I was shocked and wanted to divorce because cheating is a no-go for me. However, she told me how sorry she was and that she only loved me, and she was really trying her best to show me that I could trust her again, and I did. Now let me introduce to you my wife's best friend Chris, 31 male. They've known each other for 15 years or so, and whenever we had issues, she always ran to him to talk. Chris is single. He has had some relationships, but they never lasted that long. I know he has feelings for my wife. He's always telling me that he wants a girlfriend who is just like my wife, and he keeps telling her that I do not deserve her. I never thought much about it because, in my head, Chris is kind of a bootlicker, and I never thought that he had a chance at my wife. Fast forward 6 months. We again had our ups and downs, and my wife shocked me with the suggestion of opening up our marriage. I was shocked and immediately told her that I didn't want that. At this point, we had not had sex for like 8 months or so. She was never in the mood. And after trying many times to have sex with her, I just kind of stopped because I did not want to push her. I love sex, and being sexless for 8 months made me really unhappy. So the more I thought about her suggestion, the more I wanted to try it out, so I agreed. She was baffled at first, but in the end, we both agreed and made up some rules that involved. There are no feelings involved, either from us or the person we have sex with. No sex in our apartment. We tell each other when we have sex with someone else. We always use protection. I have a coworker, F28. Let's call her Sarah. She's a very flirtatious girl, and I always thought she was a bit into me. One night after our shift ended, we walked to the bus stop together, and I told her about the open marriage thing. She was immediately all ears and was very interested. She joked about the fact that if I want to shoot my shot, I can always ask her, so I did. I told her about the rules and the feelings thing. She made it very clear that she finds me sexually attractive, but that there are no feelings. The next day, I talked to my wife about my coworker, and she told me I could go for it. Some days later, I went to Sarah's place, and we had sex. It felt good, but it was not the same feeling as having sex with my wife. The following days, my wife was really quiet, and we did not talk at all. I knew something was wrong, so I confronted her. I thought maybe it was because I had sex with Sarah. Oh boy, was I wrong. She has told me that Chris and she had sex. After hearing this, I fucking screamed at her, and we got into a huge fight. Not only did she break the rule of not telling me when she has sex with someone else, she also broke the first rule about feelings. Her excuse was that we never made it clear when we should tell each other when we have sex with someone else before it happens or afterwards. But what really tipped me off was that she was trying to convince me that Chris had no feelings for her. In her eyes, I was overreacting way too much. I have not talked to her for 2 days now, and I'm staying at a friend's house at the moment. In my head, I keep thinking that Chris is somehow manipulating her, so she separates from me. So am I the a-hole? Update. Yes, my wife is fairly attractive. I heard that from colleagues on multiple occasions. She's that Pilates, yoga, or fitness type of woman. She got a boob job 6 years ago, which I paid for. Lamau. Nice ass, brown hair, green eyes. On the other hand, I'm fairly average looking. Besides my height and physique, I don't have anything else going for me. Because of my wife's fitness, addiction, I got into it as well. And as a result, I got pretty jacked. My best friend and I came to the conclusion that she was only with me for financial security. I got a solid education, a well-paying job, and my parents are wealthy. My wife has not been working for 3 years or so. I was also planning on buying a house this year. Yes, I think so too, that my wife had sex with Chris, and probably other men, before the incident. Let's get to the update, however. I am still at my friend's place. In my mind, this marriage is over, and I'm filing for divorce. I tried to tell her that yesterday over the phone, but she was not answering my calls for 3 hours or so, so I sent her a text before going to bed, telling her that it is probably best to separate and that I want to file for divorce. I woke up to an excess of messages. She was angry at me at first, but shifted to apologizing and wanting to work things out. We agreed on seeing each other today, so the next update will probably be the last one. Update 2, this will probably be my last update. I just had lunch with my wife, and it was blatantly obvious how she was trying to manipulate me again. She has confessed everything. She and Chris had sex for over a year now. She started crying about how it was all her fault and how she wanted to get back with me. However, I've had enough of this. I told her that I was going to file for divorce and left her crying at the restaurant. Meanwhile, I've already made arrangements with our family lawyer. I'm staying at my dad's place for a couple of days, so things can cool down a bit. He's very supportive and is actively helping me with the divorce. Now on to the next story. Am I the a-hole for crying at my gender reveal? I'll try to make this short. I have 2 children, both boys. I'm currently pregnant with my 4th after a loss. My meal offered to be the gender keeper. She got the confetti cannons. This is my last pregnancy, so I wanted to do a small reveal with close family and friends. My last was during COVID, and we had to skip all the cute things. I have 2 boys and of course would adore a little girl. I would also be happy keeping my boy mom crown. but damn, a little girl would just be so freaking sweet. We get to the cannons. Mill hands us both a cannon. Husband gets his to go first, and all I see is pink confetti. The sweetest surprise. My life with a daughter flashing in my mind, hugging my husband, tears shed. I was shaking happy. I'm always very calm and collected when I'm excited. My mom crying happy for me. This is the biggest, best surprise I've ever had. I was expecting a third boy, but soon after celebrating, my Mill interrupts, telling me I have to do mine too. I was so excited to see the pink confetti from my husband's that I never set mine off. I am assuming it's also pink because I'm not having twins, but instead, it's blue. I instantly regret my initial ecstatic response. Why are there both colors now? She then hands us the real cannons, and they both pop blue. Of course, I can't match my previous energy. I hugged my husband and people around me and excused myself, and I cried, and I haven't really stopped for hours now. Don't get me wrong, I am so incredibly thankful for the opportunity to have any children, and I know health is number one. That isn't lost on me, but it's as if I had this space and time where my dream of a daughter came true, and I experienced the joy of having a girl join my crazy boy-filled family, and now I'm grieving that. I know I'll love my son with all my heart, and I'm not upset he's a boy at all. It's just the roller coaster to find out who he was. Broke my heart today. I feel like a jerk for being so upset, but all this happened in front of an audience. I'm so embarrassed, and this happy video taken of the reveal isn't even real. It's a moment in time I got my heart broken. I don't understand the humor, even if everything had gone according to plan. What was the point? I didn't find the humor or what the end goal was. Am I the a-hole for being upset? Now on to the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law off for continually commenting on my sister's appearance? I made this account a few days ago for a stupid joke, so I'm just going to use this one. Anyway, my sister Beth is plus-sized. In her terms, she doesn't really seem that overweight to me, and has been on a continual weight loss journey for as long as I've known her. The problem is that she is always talking about what my sister and I eat, that we don't exercise, an unfair metabolism, etc. For example, we all had Christmas dinner together, and when we ate dessert, she kept saying that she couldn't have any, and that it was unfair that we could without worrying about the extra pounds. This is where I started to get mad, because I then noticed my sister, who is 17 and very small, put her dessert down and stopped eating it. So then this weekend we were all at my mom's house, and Beth started talking about food again, and then started hyper-analyzing my little sister's body. I mean, taking her hand and putting it around my sister's arm, and commenting that she could touch her fingers, saying, "Don't worry, soon you'll get a woman body, and you'll have fat thighs too," etc. I kind of lost my SH*T and asked to talk to her privately, and, not very nicely, told her that she needs to stop projecting her issues with food onto the rest of us, and asked if she's trying to fast-track my little sister to an eating disorder. I said her issue wasn't her weight, it was her crazy toxic mindset. Then I said something, which I totally acknowledge was over the line. Beth and my brother have been trying for kids for a year or so, and I said, if you ever have a daughter, you're going to give her your crazy or something. Now, I did not mean this to be a barb that she will never have children, but that's how she took it. Anyway, after that, she started crying and went to hide in the bathroom. My brother asked what happened, and I told him, and he called me, "See you next Tuesday." I went to the bathroom door and apologized for the comment about kids, but I stood by the rest. Eventually, my sister and I left to go get some stuff, and when we got back, bro and sister-in-law were gone. We also talked about my sister being okay with setting boundaries, and it doesn't make her mean to say something when Beth is acting like that. Then I received a long-winded text from her saying I needed to apologize not just for the kid comment, but for all of it. And I said no bueno. My mom and brother are both pressuring me to apologize. My mom just wants to keep the peace. But my sister said thank you, and she appreciates it, and I don't want to apologize, except for the kid remark, which I already made. Am I the a-hole?